What's going on? Charles Botenston here. I know all of you guys have been like, Charles, what have you been reading lately? Make a review. It's been blah, blah, blah amount of time since you've had a review. All you're talking about is self-development. Well, here you go, guys. Finally, Charles has a review. And by the way, it's not because I don't like making reviews. It's because all the books that I've read, they've been mediocre. And I'm not going to tell you to go read a book without actually a good review, or at least it being decent. So this one is obviously GC himself, Uncle Grant Cardone. So when I'm rich and famous, I want to have an awesome nickname like that. So just a little bit about my relationship with Grant himself. Found out about him in 2013. And once I find out about someone that I don't know about in selling or marketing or whatever, I just go all in. So in 2014, I went down to Mexico. He was pretty big then, but he's nowhere near where he is now, like he was in 2014. So I went down to Mexico, took a seven-day seminar, and the people there, I'm still friends with a lot of the guys. Jared was down there, his wife, and I think, I don't want to say, God, he's going to kill me, the camera guy. I think it's Steven. But anyway, also read his 3 other books, 10X, Sell or Be Sold, and If You're Not First, You're Last. So I'm pretty obsessed with any of the products that he comes out with, especially book-wise, because he really puts his heart and soul into it. So this one is no different. Obviously, be obsessed or be average is kind of one of the themes that he's been going on for a couple years now. And one of the best videos that one of the best keynotes that he's ever given was at an automotive seminar or automotive trade show. And it was literally 45 minutes of just gold. And this is 2012, I think he gave the speech, and he just rips into the audience completely different, and this was, pre-Donald Trump, which was pre-being PC and everything else, and he just lays it out there, and I was like, this guy is sick. So, what is the book about? All right, so number one is, he pretty much spells out who he was, so you kind of connect with him, and which was, he was told to slow down, don't go so fast, take a break, go on a vacation. And you really relate with the guy because what he says is there's 10%, which is homeless people, lazy, and unemployed. I've been lazy, I've been unemployed. I don't think I've been homeless. Probably, maybe, I don't know. And then there's 80%, which is the majority of the people, which is they go home, they're a cog in the wheel, they have their six-pack, they watch reality TV or they watch sports or whatever, and they just do the same shit every single day. And those are the people that are on social media that are like, don't go so fast, you should slow down, blah, blah, blah. And that's 80% of society. And those are the people that are your friends, your family, government, church, social media, TV, news, pretty much everyone. And then there's 10% that are just absolutely dominating. The LeBrons, the Kobes, the Gary Vaynerchuk's, the Tony Robbins, the Elon Musk's, the guys that are just the Oprahs, the ones that are they're just moving forward. And there's no slowing them down. They're not listening to people. So essentially, first the book gives you permission to just kick ass. And it also talks about the people that are going to tell you to slow down, not go so fast, don't dream so big. Those are the people you have to avoid. And, like he says, your friends and your family, get new friends, but with your family, you can't get a new family. But what you can do is just not listen to them. And number one is he tells his story, which was as honest and as vulnerable as you can get. You really get to know Grant. Literally, he didn't give himself permission because of all the people that told him when he was younger, all the things about money. I grew up Catholic. I think he did as well, or at least Christian or Baptist. I don't know what he grew up. But in the Christian religion, money is the root of all evil. But actually, it's the lust of money is the root of all evil. So you have all this huge mindset that you're growing, or that grows around your head when it comes to money. You're like, no, I don't want to make too much. Or I don't want to make more than my parents. Or you should give it all back. And he had that until like 30. And then finally he turned it around. He said, you know what? I'm going to give myself permission to make a ridiculous amount of money. And then when he made a ridiculous amount of money, he's like, you know what? I want to become a billionaire. And essentially, you get to know him. Then you get permission from him that says, listen, you know what? There's a bunch of us out there that are like me. You need to just listen to me. I was just on Amazon. I looked at all the reviews. So obviously there's a lot more out there that, listen, when you start having big goals, especially with me, it was my friends and my family that were like, you already got everything you want. Like, why do you want more? And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, I haven't even started. What are you talking about? I have massive goals. So in his mind, he's like, when you talk about sales, I want to be synonymous with sales. I want to be the best in the space. You think about marketing, you think of Grant Cardone. You think of sales, think of Grant Cardone. You think of products or sales universities, you think of Grant Cardone. And that's what he wanted, to be number one in the world. To everyone knows who he is. So the book is a really easy read. I actually read it going to Dallas, and then halfway back, I was already done. So in like 6 hours, I would say you could even read it faster, probably 4 hours. But what I would say towards the end, which is really good, so it talks about his life. Obsessed is the only option. Feed the beast, starve the doubt, dominate, stay dangerous. And the actual back end of the book is really what I really liked, is that be a control freak and obsessed with persistence. So one of the biggest things is, you know, a lot of us, we want to act like a victim. You know, well, it's the economy, it's my parents, it's my friends, it's my family, it's my religion, which I had, or it's the people I grew up with, which I had. You know, a lot of people are like, well, I don't have the social circle. Well, then make the social circle. Make your social circle. Make all the people you surround with millionaires or billionaires or celebrities or fame or people that push into the resistance. And the biggest thing is what he says, and I can't relate more to this in the book than if you are stuck, you need to just start. You need to just take action. You're never going to motivate yourself by thinking about it. The only motivation is by taking action. That's the biggest thing. Is like, I'm like, tomorrow. And then it would be tomorrow. And then I never took action. I never made the sales calls. I never went to the gym, or whatever the case is for you. You know, reading books, approaching that pretty girl. It's like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it another time. She's drunk, or whatever. I don't know. You make up an excuse with any part of your life. And the biggest thing is what he says is once you start, you need to be persistent. You need to keep on going, because otherwise you're fucked. And that happened to me, where you start and then you stop. You start and then you stop. And he's like, no. You have to have an ongoing, compounding persistence, as Darren Hardy says, or as Mike Olson says, both of them, Compound Effect and The Slight Edge, both of those books, they talk about you have to layer it, you have to compound it. And essentially that's why Grant's so big right now, because he literally just compounded just a ridiculous amount of action and facing your fears. And the other one is build an obsessed team. So I'm building a company here in New York City, and that hit home with me, is that you have to build people around you, and you have to be that leader. You have to be that. If they see you sluggish, rolling in late, not eating well, not making sales calls, who's going to be inspired to do anything if that's who you are? So the book's fantastic. It has a 5 out of 5 stars on Amazon. I'm pretty shocked at that, because, you know, you always have those reviewers that are like, maybe the people that are reviewing this and saying he's going too fast, he's a little offensive, he's not PC, blah, 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 are the people that this book is not made for. It's not made for everyone. It's not. Grant's not made for everyone, and neither is the top 10%. So if you're in the top 10%, even the top 5% that just want to make a dent, as Steve Jobs said, this book's for you. So have an awesome day. Subscribe to the video. Talk about your thoughts, and let me know if you read it. What do you thought? Talk to you soon.